once you've set up some tables in your Gridfox project, there might be some that are better represented as a calendar rather than a single list of items. So this video is about creating calendar screens over existing tables in your Gridfox project. We're going to look how to set up a calendar for the projects in the to-do list app. So if we open up the to-do list, we can see that projects have a start and an end date. So it would be useful to see these on a calendar to see where you've got overlapping projects where things might get busy. A calendar is a new kind of screen, so we open up Edit Mode and click Add New in the screen builder. We can select Calendar and give it a name. To configure our calendar, we need to first select the table which the calendar will show records from. In our case, this is the projects table. There are two different styles of calendar. We're going to set up a grid calendar here, but we'll show some examples of a column calendar a bit later on. Each event on your calendar can have two fields showing, a title and a secondary field. In our case, we're going to pick the project name as the title field and include the budget for additional information. Your table may have a date field that you want to use for the start and end dates of the event, or it may have a date time field. In our case, the project has a date field for the start date and the end date, so we're going to pick the all day option for the event duration. So we pick the start date field and the end date field. These fields contain the information to show where on the calendar these events start and end. There's a couple of additional optional extras, such as including a total field. So this is similar to on a Kanban where you can sum up by column. For instance, you might want to see in a certain month the total budget of projects, something like that. We'll leave this for now. You can also optionally color code the calendar events based on a list field, user field, or group field. We're going to color code them based on whether the project is on track or not. To take a look at a preview of how the calendar may look, you can save the new screen. This will bring in some of the data from the live project so you can have a look and tweak any settings as needed. The final setting to consider is any filter fields, so you can filter calendars just like ordinary screens, and you can choose which fields you will allow the users to filter on. So we can add a few in here. You can save the screen again and it's all ready for your users to use. It appears in the sidebar along with all the other standard table screens. You can toggle the visibility and move the screen up and down as needed. So to have a look at this for your users, if we drop out of edit mode, we can see here the calendar that we have just created. From the calendar you can create new records, so I can quickly create a new project as needed. To go to a record on here, I just click into the event itself to see information about the record. So we saw earlier that there was the grid calendar and the column calendar. So to see some examples, there's some column calendars set up in the CRM project. I'm going to quickly switch between projects by using the project picker. So there are a couple of different calendars within this project. So for instance, there's a meeting schedule. So this is a column calendar where each column is a day and the rows are time. So we can see a weekly view of meetings. To see things at a higher level, there is the project tracker calendar, which is a column for every single month. And this has been grouped by the team that is working on the task. So with column calendars, you have some additional options compared to the grid where you can choose the cadence for the columns and also the grouping on the rows as well. If we drop into edit mode just to see what this looks like, we can see here the settings are very similar to the grid calendar. There's just the additional settings of the rows, how you would like to group the events horizontally. That's it. You've seen how to create calendars over existing tables in your projects and a little look at the differences between a grid calendar and a column calendar.